This is the Classic Industries Super Chevy Muscle Car Challenge presented by Falcon Tires.
I'm here with Mike from Wilwood and Brian, the owner, the builder, the driver of the 73 Camaro. Brian, tell me a little about it.
Well, built this car, started in late 2008, took about 3 years to build it. The chassis, the cage work, all the drivetrain, all the suspension was all built by Mike Meyer. It's all tubular, a lot of one-off stuff, but a lot of history he's got on the way he builds the suspensions into the car. It's got a 3-link rear suspension with a floating rear end, and the front is all AA arm. Really trick stuff that you'll hopefully see later in some nice photos. Really tricking suspension.
What are we doing for drivetrain, motor trans?
Motor, it's a Mass Motorsports LS3. Makes a little over 600 horse. It's got a G-Force 4-speed dog box transmission. So it makes the shift really nice when you're driving it hard.
Yeah.
And then the rear end's a 4.9-inch.
Very cool. Mike, we got some big brakes on this thing. Tell me about them.
And I've known Brian for so long, and this has been a car in Wilwood stable for quite a long time, that this car morphed from being built as pretty much a primary autocross car into more of a pro touring track day car. So we slowly went from, I'm gonna say, small brakes,
yes,
to much bigger brakes. So we just got done installing floating 2-piece hat rotors on the car, 13-inch Spec 37 GT slotted only, super light, narrow, 6 calipers, and on the back it's only an 11 3/4-inch rotor with a 4-piston Dynapro.
Okay, and what are the reasons for that? I see a lot of people who run 13s all the way around, 14s.
So the way that this car has been built, it's been more purposely built and slowly morphed into what I would say a street car.
Sure more.
So what we look at is we don't need all this rotational and unsprung weight in the car.
Gotcha.
So the amount of brake we put into the car is what's needed. That's why we went to a 2-piece hat rotor floating in the front, so it would have that rotor expansion. And on the rear, we want to keep the horsepower and all that weight off the rear end, so we went with a smaller brake that's just enough.
Cool. Master cylinder, is it assisted? Is it manual?
It's a manual with a balance bar, clutch brake, and then remote reservoirs.
So balance bar on the pedal itself and
Correct.
adjust front and rear?
Yep. And
Very
it's got
cool.
a balance adjuster,
Yep.
correct?
How's it feel?
Oh, it's awesome.
Yeah.
I love the manual brakes on this car because you really have a feel.
You can modulate
Yeah,
them.
you can really modulate. You're not getting over assisted. I left foot brake when I race, so it really gives me that positive feel, and I can give it as much as I want.
Very cool. So tomorrow we got a bunch of events going on, one being the dash, we got the slalom, we got the road course. What are you looking forward to?
I always like the road course.
Yeah.
You know, I've never been on this track, so it's going to be interesting to see how I do. I've watched a little video to kind of see, but from what I understand, they changed it up maybe a little bit with the cones, but that's going to be the most fun for me.
It's a fun track. You know, you got a couple of good straightaways and some even sweeping turns and some tight stuff. So cool. Why don't we get this thing off the rack out of the track and see what it does?
Cool.
Cool.